Yo, happy new year. Yo, I'm back. I was gone for a minute. I was in Nigeria doing my thing, but I am back in the building early. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. We're also part of Empire Media at empiremedia.com. I'm your host, Wole. I'm joined by a special co-host of the Washington Football Maniacs. It's a podcast. It's a podcast on YouTube. Brandon Scott. What's going on, Brandon? And welcome back. We had Brandon on earlier before when he was locked on Wizards. Now he's with us talking Commanders. So what's going on? You're muted. Oh, my bad. I got Brandon on mute. That's my bad. Go ahead, Brandon.
That's my bad, man. I'm doing good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I was in Nigeria, and I was hearing all the news about the Commanders. Adam Peters, yes, yeah. Now the GM for the Washington Commanders. So it's like everything's foreign to me, my man. Everything is foreign.
Yeah, man. New times in the DMV, man. A lot of changes with the Wiz and the Commanders, man.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, starting the Wizards too. You see, Wes Unseld Jr. out. Like, but he's in the office though. So that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean they call it a promotion, but I mean we'll see, man. But I wish him well, man. We were kind of talking about it before, man. Is that he had a crazy hand from the get go, man. So really good guy, really easy to like guy, man. I definitely wish him well, man. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. The Wizards are on a rebuild. It is what it is. They're in a rebuild.
Yeah.
But this show is focused on the Washington Commanders. Just the Washington Commanders. It's a Washington Commanders special. But before we talk about the Commanders, let me get into the particulars. I'm gonna talk about Empire Media. Empire Media hosts multiple DMV sports podcast shows, such as the John Keim Report, hosted by ESPN Washington Commanders insider John Keim, and Jones Football, hosted by USA Today insider Mike Jones. You subscribe to our podcast on Spotify. My phone. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. I can't say Google Podcasts. That's about to shut down. So I don't know what they're going to do with Google. Anyway, just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene on our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button and like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. Anyway, let's get into our tradition. The pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Sports Journey's Washington Commanders reporter Lake Lewis Jr. will join us to talk about the Commanders' possible head coach hire and much more. All right, I see my man is here. So I see my man Lake is in the building. So let me add him to this chat so we can talk about some Commanders right now. We have Sports Journey's Washington Commanders reporter Lake Lewis Jr. on the show. What's going on, Lake?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
It's good, man. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. So it's good to see my guy Lake.
Likewise.
My God. So, all right, Lake, I'm just get right into it. New GM Adam Peters and the Commanders brass are set to travel next week to meet Detroit Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson for a second interview. It looks like he's, the leader for this job for, reports and what fans want. What's his appeal?
I mean, he's one of these young guys that is an offensive mind. And with the way the game is going today, you got to have somebody that can be creative on the offensive side of the ball and not be, one dimensional. And, this guy is also a guy that likes to run the football too. So, I think he has an appeal to Washington fans who want to see, more of a balanced setup as opposed to Sam Howell throwing 40 times a game, So I think, he's had some success with Detroit. More importantly, let's look at what he's done with Jared Goff. Jared Goff was never, a bum. People I think forget that he did go to the Super Bowl with the Rams.
I agree.
But I think since he's been in Detroit, you've seen him mature at the position, and you've seen him make plays. I mean, he's making plays for that Lions offense, and that's under Ben Johnson. So I think that's where a lot of people are excited about the potential of him being the team's coach.
Brandon, you got a question for Lake about that?
Yes, sir. You mentioned the offensive side of the ball. Look at the offensive side of the ball. Kind of you mentioned quarterback. Now, with Ben Johnson coming in, you kind of mentioned Jared Goff coming over from LA. Wasn't a bum, but kind of needed to find who he was as a quarterback. Looking at Sam Howell, is it a given right now they go quarterback in the draft, or do they kind of take an approach where we'll build an O-line, get some weapons around them, and see what he can do under a new regime?
See, that's a great question, Brandon. I think the issue right now with Sam Howell is it's not that he can't play quarterback in the league, because he played at a high level for a couple of weeks. I think he had 3 straight 300-yard games. But the difference now is, when you're bringing in new people, new GM, new coaches, they kind of want to get their guy. And you have to ask the question, picking number 2, it's not like Washington's picking number 9 and there may not be a top prospect quarterback wise, but you have a chance to maybe, luck up and get a Caleb Williams. But if not, you have Drake May and Jalen Daniels sitting right there at number 2. And you have to ask yourself, are they better long-term prospects than Sam Howell is? And I think the answer to that, to me, is yes. I'm a little leery on Drake May, but I think Jalen Daniels and Caleb Williams, definitely their ceilings are through the roof. And I think those 2 players, really kind of fit the mold of what today's NFL looks like as far as quarterbacks with big arms that can move around. Drake May's not bad as far as moving around too, but I'm just a little leery on having 2 North Carolina guys, even though and the coach could be a North Carolina guy too. So
yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, man. I've been a big fan of Jaden Daniels going with Arizona State. So I know that he could definitely play. He can run, he can throw with accuracy. So I mean, I think the biggest thing with the Commanders, man, is that they have options. We haven't always had options. You know what I mean? We kind of have what we have, and we kind of deal with it. Now we have the options to kind of rebuild the team. So it's very exciting, man. But somehow has the intangibles. Just to me, what the red flag was is he got worse as the season went by. You know what I mean? And can he be a backup? Absolutely. And maybe he develops still. But again, we have options. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sam is the kind of guy that you can see, if he has all the pieces around him, he could be really effective. Yeah. But I'm not saying that Sam can't ever progress to be more than that, because I think there was a time where I was saying that you can build with this guy.
Yeah.
I still feel like you can build with him, but it's just that when you have other prospects that not only can you build with them, but they can win games for you, with their multi-dimension as far as what they do. Listen, man, I'm tired of looking up the road and seeing Lamar and seeing Patrick Mahomes and, and let's just call it like it is, seeing minority quarterbacks. I kind of want to see what it could look like.
Okay.
If they get this done right.
I'm about to end that. I'm about to end that too. Go ahead, let's finish.
Because what was supposed to happen with Robert. Robert was supposed to start all this.
Look, man. This town be acting real different when the minorities quarterbacs, though. I'm just telling you.
Listen. One thing y'all know is I don't mince my words, and I'm really disappointed with a lot of the fans as far as the vitriol they have towards Caleb Williams. And I'm telling them to their face, you must be smoking something real good if you don't think that guy's a dog. If he's not a different generational talent. And I don't think the kid Daniels is too far away from that. I really don't. Daniels reminds me a lot of, let's just do this real quick. Because I was not to stray here.
Go ahead, bro.
Everyone's talking about Ben Johnson, and you guys know I've been pushing Mike McDaniel.
I'm kind of vibing.
I'm sorry, Donald.
Same here.
I'm vibing him too. Go ahead.
And I say this for 2 reasons. If Mike McDonald were to come here, I can tell you right now who he might end up bringing in as an offensive coordinator. It might be T. Martin. T. Martin's the quarterback's coach in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And if you were to draft Caleb Williams, if he's there, which we know he's probably not going to be.
Yeah.
So you have you have Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay, Jalen Daniels. Who does Jalen Daniels remind you of?
I mean, that's everybody. I feel like that comparison. All right, so this is the thing. Everybody does this, like they do this, like like to me, Lamar is a different animal. Like,
Lamar
in Louisville, like he Vickish, and I think that's different. I think everybody wants to be like he's the closest to Vic. Like Vic was special, but he's the closest to Vic. Like Daniels can run, but it's almost like that straight line speed, like RG3 was. It's not like to me like that elusiveness it ain't the
He's got a little
same.
bit more wiggle than Robin.
Like it's a little bit more, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's a little different. Like
No,
compared to those dudes,
Lamar is just every time he hits the field,
he's a
he's
threat.
the best athlete
Yeah.
on the field.
Yes, exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
I don't think we'll ever say Jalen Dame's the best athlete. He might be one of the fastest.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. If you want the best of both worlds and you're crying for, I want a pocket quarterback, well, this guy can stay in the pocket and throw the football. But if he has to take off, he has enough speed to make a play.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that sometimes you have to look at people's body of work and what they're used to dealing with.
Yeah.
And then in the case of McDonald, you see what he's practicing against every day.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, that whole quarterback room is athletes. You know, so you think about that. You think of a familiarity with something. And if you were to have a T. Martin come in, T. Martin's coached those three guys up there, you know, so he could tailor an offense similar to this guy's skill set, because that's the one thing that even if it is Ben Johnson, it looks as if they tailor what they do to the player's strengths, as opposed to what we've seen here for the longest time, where you're forcing these guys to do things that they have no business doing. So whoever they get, let's just call it like it is. Well, you know, too.
Yeah.
We've been saying this forever. It's an upgrade.
Yeah,
No matter
it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. It should be upgrade. Like my thing. So it's like, it's funny because I'm always, so it's the first coach I wanted, because it's not Ben Johnson. I won't even lie to anybody. I'm not gonna lie to anybody over here. The first coach I wanted is Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick. It's like my first. But then I looked at what Mike McDonald did. Like when you look at his resume of like the people he shut down, it's amazing. Like every quarterback that you like, every dude that you like, he shut down. You like Ben Johnson, he shut him down.
He shut.
They didn't score. You like Bobby Slowick? He shut him. He shut.
They
him
didn't
down.
score.
Yeah. So your favorite dude, he shut down. The ones y'all come out here and clamor. Yeah, the ones y'all clamor for, he's shut down. Yeah. So it's like, and you all like DeMeco Ryans a lot. Well, I mean,
he was a defensive coordinator.
Exactly. You like DeMeco? DeMeco a beast.
I don't want to hear. People keep saying, look, you know, you got to go offense. You got to go offense. That is, look, I saw my guy Lou Riddick said the same thing the other day. Yeah. That's BS, man. That's garbage.
Yeah.
I want a guy that's going to make guys want to run out that tunnel and play for
There you go.
And at the end of the day, I want somebody that's coming from a winning outfit. And I don't, no offense to Ben Johnson, because I think he's a great prospect.
Yeah.
But Detroit just started winning.
There you go.
The Ravens have been winning. and he came from Michigan before that. Yeah. So this guy's got both hardballs rubbed off on him. Yeah. He sees how they go about it. And when you look at that defense, he's taken some players that other teams didn't want, remember? I mean, say what you want about Roquan Smith. Chicago let him go. They got the trade.
Clowney.
You look at Patrick Queen. I remember the talk of people saying Patrick Queen was a bust. He's not the Patrick McQueen we saw in Miami in college. Well, look at him now. It's just coaching, man. You get the right person to come in and coach you and put you in the right positions. We remember Darby was in Washington a couple of years ago. They didn't want to re-sign him. You know, I also look at
Clowney. Look at Clowney.
And everywhere. But this is some of the best.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So again, it comes back to how you utilize your players. I mean, their second string safety is a Pro Bowl caliber player that Washington should take a look at, by the way. And again, I just want somebody that's coming from an outfit. Like when they hired Adam Peters, for me, that was the only GM prospect that I wanted them to go after, because I know for a fact from things that I've been told, he's really one of the guys who really was running some stuff out in San Francisco. And now it's his show here. I can assure you guys, this guy knows talent, and they're going to be a bigger team, and they're going to be much more physical than they've ever been. And that's not lip service. That's what he looks for. He looks for big guys that are physical and guys that are athletes. So it's just going to look like a totally different outfit. Again, you get your coach that they want. Anybody they bring in right now is an upgrade. I know I don't want Belichick. I know people are talking about that. I don't. I want them to get a young,
Everyone was
line.
young. Go ahead.
Even
Go
if
ahead.
you decide to stay with EB, I would live with that before you go with Belichick. I'm serious because I want hunger, man. I want guys that have waited their time and they're a little upset that they had to wait, and now they got the opportunity, so they're coming out to destroy feelings, and that's what I want.
I will say this, man. Like the Belichick thing, it's interesting. Well, I ain't gonna lie, 'cause I'm all about greatness. That's the thing. Like, I think Belichick, if he comes to the NFC East, he's automatically the best coach in the conference, and his teams will be automatically prepared. His team will be more prepared. That's just from my opinion about Belichick. I just feel like Belichick. I know my defense will be lit. This defense ain't been lit in years.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Was he the best coach in the AFC?
Last year, I mean, if you
The
take
last
away his,
3 years.
I feel like he's still.
Nah.
I just want to say, I think he was still one of the better coaches. I just think that he had the problem with him is that he just has to he has to let go. He has to let go of control of bringing in the people he's like the players. Like
that's never gonna happen.
That's the thing. I think coaching coaching the players itself, like to me, that team wasn't super talented. But the way he coaches up that defense so they can compete shows you that he's still a good coach. His issue is the players that he picks. Like Jabril Peppers had his best year under Belichick. Jabril Peppers hasn't even been a real safety.
No, I have no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with what he can do for a defense. I don't. But he needs a quarterback to win.
Oh, I agree. I'm saying, so to the point of like my things, I don't. If you're telling me about, if you're talking to me about picking shopping for the groceries, nah, he shouldn't shop for the groceries. But you telling me coaching 53?
But see, that's the problem. But that's the problem. He's not some guy that's wet behind the ears.
True, facts.
Boy, Martin said, "Breath smell like Similac." You know, he's not one of those guys.
Yeah, I got you.
He's a guy that, because of his history and what he's done, he's warranted the right to be able to pick and choose.
Oh, that's true.
What he wants.
That's true.
The problem with that whole scenario, though, is if you're a young executive for a team that was looking for a coach, you're scared of bringing in Bill Belichick.
That's true.
Because now you don't have any say anymore. And so I do believe that he's kind of been, I don't want to say, blacklisted or anything.
It seemed like it. It seems like it.
I think for a guy of that magnitude to be sitting out there and wants to coach and no one's got him, that tells me that there are people that are scared of the power that he could ultimately wield.
All right, what about Pete Carroll then? I'm not here, but I'm saying like
I think Pete Carroll was good for Seattle. And But let's face it, Pete Carroll's made some decisions as a coach to make you scratch your head. The whole Marshall Lynch things, I'll never forget that.
Never ever in my life.
And I just think he's older, and I just think that what D'Amico Ryans did this year with a rookie quarterback, not only did it make these old GMs and these old owners say to themselves, "We gotta get with the times." It helped minority coaches.
Sure.
It's helped, people think that you can win right away. There's no rebuild. It's helped people realize that you can win with a rookie quarterback. But more importantly, it's helped people realize if you do your due diligence, there's great young coaches out there. You just have to pull the trigger on one. And so it's a copycat league. And unfortunately, the Belichicks and Carrolls are getting caught up in this right now.
I do agree with that. Before I let you go, like I do want to say this about all right. So this is the argument I've always had about like young coordinators. Everybody wants to have the next young coordinator, right? Like the next Sean McVay. I guess Kyle will be young. Kyle Shanahan, Daniel McDaniels. But I'm like all the successful young dudes for real. They come from one tree. Like they're not like the young offensive minded ones, not defensive minded ones. I feel that's a whole different argument. But offensive minded ones, they all come from one tree. Like we've seen like for instance, if you tell me is Josh McDaniels a good offensive coordinator? Yeah, he's a good offensive coordinator. He's just not a good head coach. Yeah, but he's not a good head coach at all.
But there's certain guys that buck the trend though, like Kevin O'Connell, who we all thought should have been here.
Yeah, but on the same kind of tree though. Like but the same kind of tree.
But he was only up there in New England for like 2 years. I mean, he played. He was a third string quarterback. Yeah. So he was in the room with the GOAT. I get it. Yeah. But as far as just coaching the guy, we saw that here.
We saw it, coach. Yeah, we saw it.
We saw it here. Remember, you saw Steven Sims break one last week, and I'm like, He was here too. All these guys, and I'm looking at Bobby Slowick. I'm looking at all these guys.
Yeah.
I saw Antoine Randall L, man, on the sideline. He's the wide receivers coach for the Lions.
Yep.
Leonard Hankerson is the wide receivers coach for the 49ers.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So you all these old guys here and stuff like that. And okay, so to answer your question, yeah, Hankerson's going to be a prospect one day. He's coming from Shanahan Street. I get it. But if that's the case, that tree's been successful. And
it's a freaking amazing tree.
No offense. To me, though, I don't know. I look at stuff the way you do, Wole, in this sense. We're competitors, Brandon, competitor. I get it. All I know is everybody talking about these young offensive geniuses. And I'm saying that guy up in Baltimore.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Slow them down. They didn't score.
No, he shuts them down. No, that's my thing. Like, I guess that statement is more comparing Bobby Slowick to Ben Johnson, because I feel like everybody they're obsessed with what the Lions are doing and doing a great job, but also like there's certain things to how they built that team. So that's more offensive coordinator and also their GM and how they built that. They have one of the best offensive lines of football. He comes into Washington and they got a coach who's an aggressive, who's all about that physical style. You come to Washington, it's still granted, like it's not. He's going to have to build it up from with Adam Peters, obviously, but they're going to have to build that offensive line. It's not going to be the same situation, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, so to your point, like, all right, we drafted a quarterback this year with Ben Johnson. Say Ben Johnson's the coach. They draft a quarterback. But really, truth be told, if you really want to know, to me, in my opinion, what makes his offense dynamic is it's the big uglies up front. And you got dudes out there who are warranted to be the number 2 pick at offensive line. And you can the kid from Notre Dame, and also from Penn State. So you got dudes.
Want to say it.
I know we are. I got you. Right. He's Nigerian. No. He's Nigerian too, but it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so I'm saying those dudes for real. If you telling me Ben Johnson coming here, I'm like, offensive line is something that kind of made his offense rock. Yeah. Be able to run the football. Jared Goff having time in the pocket. You watch some Detroit Lions games. Jared Goff has time in the pocket. Yeah. If you don't tackle that O-line, Ben Johnson ain't going to be the same dude. And I will add this for fans who keep saying, well, you can get him in free agency. Ladies, if you are a Redskin Commanders fan, you don't find all-world left tackles out there in free agency. Teams wrap them dudes up.
Left tackles, and traditionally
stay.
For as long as they can.
So my question to you, Lake, is for real. Like, should that tackle? If you do get a Ben Johnson, can you see them saying, you know what, we need a quarterback, but I know I need to anchor my line and I want that balance with the big uglies out there.
Yeah, my thing is if you can't somehow find a way to get Caleb, you take a tackle. And if they take Daniels or May, that's fine, but I'm not sure. They may take those guys and think Howell's still the starter, and those guys develop. Yeah, I don't have time for that after what I saw with CJ Stroud. So my thing is, it give me an offensive lineman, and then you can see what Sam Howell can do with some adequate guys up front. Mm-hmm. That's a year assessing him, because you do have talent in other positions. But the other thing that I will say is that you're right. The GM in Detroit hit on some things like the Jahmyr Gibbs. I remember when they took him, people were like, "Wow,
you're mad."
From the Bears as a free agent, you see why now. And then you see a guy like Amon St. Brown. I'm not calling out anybody, but De'Ami Brown and him were right there. And
exactly. True.
So again,
the tight end too, Lake. The tight end. They hit on the tight end.
Laporta. You cannot. You can't. Oh, I'm gonna say this too. The safety from Notre Dame and Baltimore.
Oh my God, Hamilton.
Yeah,
bro, I wanted him. I ain't see no one.
I'm just saying. When you're a bad football team, you can't miss on that stuff. You can't because that sets you back 3-4 years. And what have we seen the last 3-4 years? Mm-hmm. Setbacks. So there we go.
I'm with you, Lake. I'm totally with you. Hey, Lake, man, thanks for being on, my man. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to add? You want to plug?
Man, some big news, but I cannot say
Okay.
it right now.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you, it's going to set us all up, and
All right, bro. I'm here
I'm
for it.
excited about it, and we've been working for a while. So, but yeah, you just follow me on social media, Lake Lewis on Twitter, and Lake Lewis Jr. on Instagram. Go to sportsjourney.com. You can see some stuff there, but just you'll see, and it's gonna open some mouths.
Yeah, I mean, Lake always doing big things, man. Hey, Lake, man, appreciate you being on, my man. Definitely
Yes,
do,
sir.
man.
Appreciate you guys. Good seeing you, Brandon.
All right,
Take care.
Yes, sir.
all right, take care,
All right.
Lake. All right, man. That's my guy, Lake Lewis. Make sure you follow him on X. Yes, it's X now at Lake Lewis. You know what I mean? On Instagram at Lake Lewis Jr. All right, Brandon, I'm gonna ask you. You know, since Lake's gone, we can talk. We can chop a little bit more. So I asked Lake who is his preference. Who was your preference for Washington's head coach? Is it Ben Johnson too?
Yeah, Ben Johnson was my go-to, man. But I'll say this, man. McDonald. I'm starting to warm up the idea of him being head coach, man.
Mm-hmm.
And even Slovic, man. Slovic, man, was a guy that I'm kind of looking at. I wouldn't be disappointed if he was head coach. But and I say this all the time, man. We have options. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have the option to go out here and find the right pieces, man, where we didn't always have that, man. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is we have a peace of mind in knowing that we have a legit general manager in the office now where you can go out there and find the personnel to fit the system. And that if you in concert with the right coach, man, we could build something special, man. And that is, 20 plus years on the Dan Snyder just shows you this how bad, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
It's a breath of fresh air with Josh Harris, man.
You feel good. You feel good about it. So we had the poll. We had this poll on our Urban Sportsy X account. Say, who do you want to be the next Commanders head coach? 79% said Ben Johnson, 4% Bobby Slowick, 17% Mike McDonald, and 0% Bill Belichick. People hate Bill Belichick. It's crazy. Damn. Like I'm sorry. I'm one of them. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't ignoring Super Bowls, man. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like it's hard for me to do it, man. Like I know the issue to me, like if you tell me New England talent is bad, but I think that again, that's Bill Belichick in the front office that because he's picking it. But if you told me like what he's coached up to be competitive with that talent, with the players he has on his team, like there's no way they should be competing with Buffalo sometimes or in certain games. I know they're division rivals, but there's no way. The teams he beats with that piss poor team, and I mean, like that to me is like, you can coach. Like to have Mac Brown, like for you to choose Mac Brown as your quarterback was trash. Like I said that already. I don't know what you was doing. Like as a GM, but as a coach, I feel like Bill Belichick. If you take that power away from him, like him shopping and picking the groceries, then I feel like you can have him you can have a Bill Belichick coach who can dominate. Who can win you a lot of football games? To be honest with you, a lot of football games. But I get it. Like I understand people want something young. Bill Belichick, he's not personable. You don't want, press conference. People be like people would hate having Bill Belichick in town. Like I understand. Like I know why people don't want Bill Belichick. But I mean, it's hard for me to ignore greatness. I don't take great for instance, when Coach Gibbs came back, 2.0 came back, like I was excited. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was excited because I get it, like, because he's a champion. And not because I have a bias. I think he's like Jesus. But it's just like I just have a bias. Like I have a bias for greatness. If you told me like Pete Carroll, he messed up with like he messed up against like obviously Marshawn and Super Bowl, but Pete Carroll to me, people play for him. That's what I look at. And I say people play for him. Don't matter how young they are, how old they are. He's so energetic for an old dude that they play for him. So I wouldn't mind. And he's a champion. He always competes, regardless of the fact he always competes. So I don't have an issue with old coaches like everybody else. Because I know everybody wants the young coach as a dynasty. I'm just hope they pick the right young dude. That's all. Like, because I get real scared. Like, for instance, I'll use an example. Carolina picked the dude from Tampa. I don't even know that dude ain't that impressive to me. But because
I'm with you.
Gino and Baker good years, like now they think he can be a good head coach. And he might. I'm not gonna like say he won't, but coaches like that, I don't trust. Like for real. And it's just because to me, the young coaches, and I mean this, and maybe I could be forgetting somebody, but I feel like all these young dudes, these offensive minded dudes come because they breathe Shanahan air. Like, I don't know what it is. They breathe that air. Like, I don't care. They've been around him. So I feel like when you are around him, it's just a trickle down effect that you're going to be successful. I feel like if you do the odds, the hit rate on them dudes is bigger than anything. Like, there's no tree. I'm talking about just wins. A winning.
Oh yeah.
It is nothing big. And so when you put like a Ben Johnson out there, dude came from North Carolina, came from North Carolina. He's gonna do a good job. But it's like, yeah, you may like it, but there's so many different entities that make it look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Bobby Slowick, what he did with a rookie quarterback is more impressive to me than what Ben Johnson did with Jared Goff and that Detroit Lions offense. To me, why?
Yeah.
Because there are more weapons, and people can make out there are way more weapons on that Detroit Lions offense compared to the Houston Texans with a rookie quarterback. And I'll add this too. We've seen in a Kyle, Mike, whoever system that they make life so much easier for a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Purdy is like, if Purdy was somewhere else, he'd be garbage. But Purdy in San Francisco is amazing. Like CJ Stroud is super talented, super good. But being with Bobby Slowick, he's making his life so much easier that you see all the talents of CJ Stroud right there. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm always like, if you want to, this is my thing. If you want a rookie quarterback to put up awesome numbers, if this is what you want, that you're better off going with Bobby Slowick. If you want to if you want balance and you just want to kind of, run an offense and see where it goes in 2-3 years, and it may be better in 2-3 years. I'm not gonna get it twisted. Yeah. Like if you're not looking for that instant gratification, then you're good with Ben Johnson. That's my opinion. Like if you think you have an opportunity with a rookie quarterback to maybe do something special, I think off the rip, you go with Bobby Slowick.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, you brought up a good point, man. Is that a coach is only as good as his assistant coaches, man. And and in his position coaches. Because if you look at Washington, how much talent did we walk away who are head coaches now? LaFleur, Shanahan, I mean McDaniels. I mean, the list goes on. We've had so much talent come through the building, and now they went out and they're successful head coaches. And then you also mentioned, absolutely. And you mentioned fit. I mean, Belichick, the biggest thing with Belichick with his success was, and I agree with you, I think you need to put respect on his name. But then, you look at Belichick in Cleveland, then he wasn't very, it wasn't the greatest moments, right? And then under, with Drew Bledsoe, they were kind of on the fringe, but they found the perfect quarterback for the right system. Yeah. And it just fit right, man. True. And there's another player I'm looking at is, man, I just thought about it, man. Played for the Rams for the longest, man.
Not Kurt.
Yep. Kurt Warner. Yeah. Now, perfect system in St. Louis, man. Well, but then he went to the Giants and he wasn't looking too shade. I mean, but then he went to Arizona where they married a lot of what they did in St. Louis. Yeah. It's all about the right fit, man. And your coach is only as good as his assistant coaches. Look, they hate to walk away from football a little bit. But I mean, even if you look at Western So Jr., look at the coach he had behind him. That's why that decision was so easy to make, because you got a couple coaches in Brian Keefe and David Vanderpool who can step up and be that guy. So, I think the biggest thing to look at as far as, if they go with a young coach, find the right pieces behind him.
I agree.
Help him succeed. So,
because similar to, I'm about to trash Kurt Warner. I did that once. I think I got he came at me on X way back.
Did he?
Yeah, because I was mad. I was like, dude, you got to Hall of Fame. Randall Cunningham did just as much as you. And why because you got a Super Bowl, because you played with him. I fried this. I was so angry. I was like, I was hating. I guess I was hating, I was like, bro, the only reason you went to the Hall of Fame because you played with Torrey Holt, Isaac King. Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Faulk. And then you look bad with the Giants. And then you got with Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden. Of course you're gonna look good. You ain't good without two number ones. That's what I was. And then I was like, but Randall Cunningham had to carry a whole team, and he can't make the Hall of Fame, but you did. Then he responded like, "Why you gotta mention somebody else?" I was like, "All right, dude, you got it. I ain't. Your feelings were hurt." But
you got a point. Yeah, you got a point. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. You got a point. I mean, look at the talent he had around him, man. I mean, Torrey Holt and Isaac. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a reason. I always say there's a reason why he looked bad with the Giants. Because he went from one ideal situation, because you rarely have two number ones. So he had and you had Marshall Faulk with that. And then you go to another situation, you have two number ones in Arizona with Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald. Dude, of course you're gonna put up numbers. You should. If you don't put up numbers with them dudes, you're a bad quarterback. So
I'm gonna throw another name at you, man. Phil Jackson, NBA.
Same
Now,
thing. I agree.
Thank you, and I've
I
said that for
agree. I
years,
say
man.
like he can only coach. He can only coach the best players ever.
You went from the Chicago Bulls, man,
Yeah.
to the Lakers. Then
Yeah.
you took a break when they weren't that good. Came back when he had Paul Gasol. So yes, you know, I'm with you.
I feel like people. Yeah, that's a whole. I'm with you. Yes. That it gets me. But yeah, I agree with you. It's the same thing that I've said for Washington. It's just Washington, whoever they bring in. I think this is the most important thing that fans need to recognize. They got to treat it like how the Rams treated Sean McVay. I know everybody thinks that Sean McVay was like awesome he's just this amazing coach. But he went to the right organization. So as soon as he got the Rams sucked the year before, but as soon as he got there, they made all of these moves to make life easy for him. I think they brought in Sammy Watkins Jr.
Yeah.
They traded in they were set a wide receiver. Because they brought another wide receiver. I can't think of the person. Then they built the defense. Then you saw they brought in what's my guy? They brought in Dominic Sue. They brought in Dominic Sue to pair with Aaron Donald. They brought in like corner. I think Peters was there at the time. They brought in Peters.
Yeah, Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters. I think the year after that, they brought in Ramsey. They brought in Ramsey. So they didn't just give him a team to rebuild. They didn't give him a rebuilding team. They gave him a team and gave him star players to say, you know what? Now go ahead, rock. You already got Gurley. Now we've added talent for you to win football games. It wasn't like, all right, we rebuilding. You're here, rebuild. It wasn't a rebuild. It was, okay, you're good. Like, you got a great offensive mind. We're gonna make life easy for you. We're gonna put the bag on any player we can get in free agency, any trade we can make. We're gonna make life easy for you so you can be one of them dudes. I mean, they had Woods, but they already had Woods. So they had a bunch of talent, and they drafted well. I think Cooper Kupp came that year. So they pushed in the chips. So they were different. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were different. It wasn't like coming into a situation where you really got to start over. And like, for instance, it wasn't a situation like Carolina. Like Carolina, where they are now. Like, you get nothing, just work with this. You know what I'm saying? Like how Carolina treated Bryce Young, he ain't getting that situation. Like, even though he's a coach, it's different in a way, but he didn't get that situation. They gave him weapons and everything to work with. So whoever Washington brings in, depending on who they bring in, to be real with you, they're going to have to really kill it in free agency, not just a draft. Like, they're gonna have to make moves in the offseason to make life easy. Because if you don't make life easy, depending who, like, all right, for instance, if it's Ben Johnson, you're gonna have to make life easy. If you want success off year one, you're gonna have to make, because there's nothing in terms of his body, what he's working with in Detroit. You can make the argument say he has talent to work with to make him for his offense to work.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, absolutely. He has an O line where his quarterback has time. He has a running game. Like, granted, Washington has Brian Robinson who can run the football, but they have, again, Detroit arguably has, maybe behind the Eagles, the best offensive line.
And that's where it starts, is the O-line. And that's what people don't realize, is that if you look at the Skins in the Super Bowl run, we didn't have a franchise quarterback.
We had a great
in
offensive
those
line.
Super Bowls. We had an offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you brought up a good point, is that they're going to have to hit in free agency, because number one, you got to go get a middle linebacker, because we missed London Fletcher, man. I mean, when London Fletcher was in DC, he was the quarterback, the leader of the defense. We had no leadership on the defense. People just kind of do whatever they want to do. And Del Rio's trying to do what he can, but nobody was listening to him. So there was no leadership on the defensive side. So go get a middle linebacker who can call the plays. Lockdown corner. We need a lockdown corner, because Manuel Forrest, we don't know where we got him. Fuller, he's gone. I mean, St. Juice, we'll see. He's trash. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, absolutely, he is trash, because I mean, you make one tackle, you out here doing your little thing, man.
Bro, he make one stop. All he do is grab. Like, he get beat a lot, so he grabs and holds. Like, he does. Look, we don't gotta stop. We gotta stop complaining. Like, he don't do it. He be doing it. He does it every game. He does it every game. He's a pass interference dude. He's a defensive holding pass interference dude. It is what it is. All right.
So we definitely got to hit in free agency, bro. I mean, we'd have to shutdown corner, and middle linebacker are big pieces. Looking at defensive line, man, I for one am willing to give one of the spots to KJ Henry. I want to see what he can do for a year, and then you'll spend money on the other side. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he can do something, man.
I mean, go ahead. I'm go ahead. Keep continuing.
I mean, fill the other spot. I mean, we'll see what we have with Jonathan Allen. I mean, because I think this might be something to that, man. I mean, he's not happy. I know there's reports that the organization talked to him, and but we'll see. But you know what I mean? Because I like Jonathan Allen, man. I mean,
everybody want to get rid of Jonathan Allen. It's funny to me. No, it's funny how people because I'm with you. Like, if you could trade him, if he's really unhappy, then trade him, I guess, right? But you trade him for don't just trade him to trade him. Trade him for something that's valuable. Don't just trade him to trade him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I'm like, we as a fan, it's amazing how not you. I'm not talking about you, but it's amazing how like I look on X and like how folks have just turned on Jonathan Allen. I'm like, first he was like one of the captains. He's one of them. He's a leader, man. He's this. Man, trade him, man. All he was complaining. And I will say this for Jonathan Allen, because to be fair to him, and I think people don't really call it out often. Like, he was playing with plantar fasciitis, and that is something hard to play with. And I think people ignore it and think like he still should put up numbers. You're not. You need to rest and put no weight on that thing. And I think next season, like, you'll get the real Jonathan Allen. Like, I agree I think you'll get the real Jonathan Allen. So I think if you're mad at his production this season, just know he's playing with an injury that was hard to play with. But if you're just sick of him coming out and just complaining all the time, all right, you're sick of it. I mean, but you're the same folks that loved it, exactly. 3-4 years ago. Like, y'all loved it. Exactly. Y'all was like, he shows fire, and now you hate it. I just get annoyed. I ain't gonna lie. I just think people here in this fan base, it's just not the fan base I grew up with. I'm old and I'm 42.
Oh man, I'm with you. I'm 42. I'm about to hit 40, man. So I'm with you.
So you're around. So like I'm just not. I grew up like we've had some bad football teams. It's never been to a point where how people feel, and maybe it's social media being in the mix now that I'm kind of seeing it this way.
That's what it is.
It is like people are so. Like, they're so angry and they're so hateful when they go at these players. I'm like, dog, like, we were never like that back in the day. It was just like, all right, man, like, yeah, you may not like a player, but you weren't so blinded or just so like ignorant to certain things.
Yeah, you know what it is though? Mm-hmm. Social media, and I hate to get deep about it, man, but social media has taken away the personification of contact between humans, man. Because like I said, I grew up in VA, man, and I went to high school for a couple of years because of zoning. In Ashburn, Stonebridge, which is where Jonathan Allen went to high school. You know, when you grow up in Northern VA, man, you see players all the time. Like I had a girlfriend that lived near James Trash, and so we used to play ball. And he'd be over there. I mean, Michael Westbrook, Stephen Davis. I mean, you meet these guys. And when I first got out the Army, man, and I worked for FedEx, we used to deliver stuff to Skins players all the time because they get the shoes and stuff through. And so I mean, it was a personal level to the connection to the Skins or the Commanders that you really didn't see with the Wizards or the Nationals. It was a personal connection to the community. With social media, you lost that connection. And now people feel like they can say whatever they want to say.
That's what they want to say, man. Good God.
And they're hateful, man. And I'm with you. Jonathan Allen, I think he's a dog. Sometimes the complaining, I get it, but it's not enough to really drive me away because he's a dog. He can perform at a high level. And so people are,
they're just too much. It's just too much to me. It's like, all right, this is my life. This is how I view things. Like, if I don't never go over the top. Like, I might be like, man, this dude is annoying. He trash. I might say something like that to a certain extent. Like, I ain't gonna at nobody because I feel like that's just ignorant. I used to do that when I was younger, but I don't do that crap no more. I feel like I thought about like, dude, what are you doing that for? Like, you clout chasing? Like, I just usually like really literally just had to like talk to myself. I did it to Donnell Dockett, almost had like a whole different thing. But now I was like, I'm acting stupid. But but then it was like when people like they go over the top. I saw one dude went over the top on Cam Curl. Yeah, it was bad to a point that Cam Curl called him out on the joint, and then dude then came back and apologized like I was being it. And I was like, what? Like, dude, like you shouldn't even have went on him like that. But B, if you like stand on your word, because I'm a believer in this, dog. Like, I ain't going. This is how I am on social media now. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing disrespectful to you if I can't get to your face.
I feel like if you're gonna add somebody, use it strategically. I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you why. Because last year, man, Chris Miller, play-by-play announcer for the Wizards, I know exactly. And he good dude, man. I have a good relationship with him, man. And he had made a comments about how he didn't like how fans wanted them to tank. And so
I remember that.
For the episode, we said
that.
at Chris Miller, and then he came on the episode, Locked On Wizards, and kind of developed a relationship. But you gotta be strategic, man, because that's a way to kind of get attention to people.
Yeah,
but,
no, I get that.
But you can do that without being disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Because when I approached Chris Miller, man, it was like, look, my thing was he's got a hard job. Working for Monumental Sports, you can't really say what you want to say. For people to cover the team in other avenues, we can go out here and say things about, because I went hard after people last year, man. I went after Brad, even though I like Brad, but I went after Brad heavy.
I go at Brad all the time.
I went after everybody, bro. I mean, I went after the ownership, the whole nine, man. So everybody got the smoke, but it's all about how you do it, man. If the smoke is within the perimeters of what we're covering, like sports, when you get personal, man, that's where I look.
That's where I like stop it at. Like it's personal. Like a lot of people get overly personal. And like I ain't here to mess up with nobody money. I ain't here to talk about that. Ain't my thing. No, I think I'm with you. It's strategic. If you're gonna do that, be strategic. You can act. All right, this is my thing. You could disagree with somebody. Mm-hmm. You can have an issue with somebody's play, but just don't be personal about it. I mean, there's ways you can go about it. Like even Chris Miller. I disagree with like a lot of things that certain players or pundits or whatever they say, but I'll be like, I don't feel that like. But I ain't going at you and calling you a cornball or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with it.
I mean, I did call the owner of the Washington Wizards cornball.
But that's different, though. He the owner. The owners don't count. I'm sorry. Owners don't count. No, I'm sorry. Owners don't count.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one time I did, man.
Because owners don't. Because owners are assholes. No, they don't count. Because owners are assholes. So they don't count.
But like you said, at the end of the conversation, it should be all love. Yeah, and with Chris Miller, man, it was all love. It was just we all had different perspectives, but we could come together and we could chop it up. And at the end of the day, it's all love, man. And that's where it used to be. Is where in sports there used to be a time where we all had different views, but we can come together and we could talk about it and be like, all right, man, this is why I like this dude. Oh, I don't like this, this. But now it's like,
God, it's so
disagree with people, man. They get hateful. I mean, dude, we covered Denny Avia. And obviously he's an Israeli player. We get a lot of viewers from Israel, man.
Yeah.
And 99.9% of them are they like ball. We can chop it up, talk ball. There's a small percentage where it's like, man, somebody called me a racist because I said he needed to learn how to use his left hand. And I'm like, what are we talking about, man? Like, what are we doing?
That's a fact. That's a factual statement. Still does. I don't get it. He's a basketball player with left hand.
Get a consistent 3-point shot. I don't understand what the problem is, man. It's like
I agree.
So people they're wound way too tight, man. And I
agree. I had a dude like literally, like I had the dumbest conversation about the Commanders on Twitter about this one dude. I was like, and folks always tell me to stop addressing trolls, but I can't help it. Like my personality.
Sometimes you have to, man.
I like to give it to trolls, man. I like to give it to trolls. I do. I like because I feel like they stupid. Now I feel like people are stupid. Like you keep egging it on. Like if we disagree, I always my statement is I agree to disagree, right? But when you're trying to be ignorant, then I like to go a little bit further than that. So I had one dude, I don't know what we talking about. I'm trying to figure out what we talking about. It was about a quarterback. I don't forget what it was. Because he made no sense. Oh, I'll pull it. I should pull up the tweet. It was so dumb. It was so because he was trying to call me like you're not talking facts, and I'm like, bro, I just said, oh my God, it's about a player in a different. It's about was it a rookie? I can't think it was a rookie, one of the few players in the draft or something. But I was telling them I was like, well, when so and so was in this situation, they didn't play. Like, what did they do in this situation? And this person like didn't answer my question, but he kept saying that, well, when this player, I was like, bro, you're not answering my question. Like, answer my question. He was like, well, you don't have any facts. You're not talking on facts, bro. I asked you a question. Answer my question. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and it gets to a point. I'm sitting here like, then he was like, you stupid, man. You're a cool, like, blah, blah, blah. Keep cursing. I'm like, bro. I said, bro, I'm not an internet gangster. I don't do internet gangster stuff. So, like, I'm not going to entertain you. I know you wouldn't say this to my face. You know what I'm saying? I see your picture. You wouldn't say this in my face. I ain't worried about you. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's internet gangsters. I don't play with internet gangsters.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I'm under your skin. I'm getting under your skin. Still talk about facts. I'm like, bro, like, look. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to quote tweet one of your, like, what did you saying about it? And then I'm going to put it out there for everybody to see it. And I'm like, bruh, this dude talking about I ain't spitting fast, but this dude ain't answering no questions. And what am I saying that's not clear?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, this dude is this dude, don't worry about the troll. He's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, then the dude was like, I ain't worried about I'm not embarrassed that you put my quote over there. I said, bro, you know what? I like you so much. I'm gonna give you a follow because I see you desperately in need of follow. I'm gonna follow you. Like that's how I was like, I follow. So I'm gonna follow you because I look. You can say all the hateful stuff for you, but you know what? I'm gonna bless your day today. I'm gonna give you the attention that I'm gonna give you the attention that you want. I'm gonna follow you and I'm gonna pay attention to everything you put out there.
I do the same thing, man. You know what kills me is when somebody will comment on your show.
Yeah.
And it's like you took the time to watch it
yes.
and to respond. If you don't like what I'm talking about, don't watch it, man. Like you took the time to watch it. I didn't force you. You know, so the trolls are strong out here, man.
They're strong, man. They on one, man. I'm telling you, these trolls out there, man. So I mean, like, all I'm saying is like the Commanders, whoever they get, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my thing. There's certain players I don't want them to. There's certain people I don't want them to get. Like I'll say it, I don't want to get a black quarterback. It's not even being racist because I just feel like this town turns on black quarterbacks. It is what it is. I know what I said. Yeah, like right now, like y'all, like it is what it is. Like you could say, or I don't trust them treating the hometown kid good. That's why I'm glad that the Bears are in line to get Caleb because it looks like he's gonna get Caleb. More than Jaden. No, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take my statement back. I'm just glad that Caleb's not coming here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a combination of a lot of factors that I don't want Caleb to come here because I feel like playing home, if he struggles, the negative stuff. I don't like the negative stuff that I'm hearing about Caleb because it says like, you know, anytime you talk about I get real iffy when you talk about a black quarterback, a me guy. I get real iffy with that because I feel there's an undertone with that. So I don't want him here for that purpose. And granted, like I know, like Chase didn't pan out well here, but the way that people turned on the hometown kid kind of blew me. Like how they turned on Chase. It was like, all right, we don't like you. You suck. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, he a hometown kid. He had a good rookie year. And all he got hurt, and it just didn't turn out the way you wanted to turn out. And now he a bum. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like he's played well this year, even in San Fran, but I'm just saying like y'all turned on him like real quick, like really quick. So the same thing with Caleb. Like I don't want because my thing is rookie quarterbacks because there's people who've been negative on Caleb here that are from here.
Oh yeah,
and rookie quarterbacks in general struggle.
Yeah,
like everybody ain't CJ Stroud. That doesn't happen. Like I said, Jared Goff struggled with the Rams in year one. And people thought he was done. Josh Allen that everybody loves. Everybody thought Josh Allen after his rookie year was one of the worst quarterbacks ever. And everybody loves Josh Allen now.
Yeah.
So, like, I just know, like, Bryce Young is an example now that people are kind of, you know, like, he ain't that good, but let time. I'm always like, let time determine that. Don't rush it. So, Caleb, he comes here, one, if he struggles, which happens with rookie quarterbacks, and two, being a hometown kid and people on the radio, maybe they made the wrong decision. Maybe they should have got so-and-so. Maybe it's like they're going to mess. It's going to mess with his head because he's local. And I don't want that hit for him here. So I do think it'd be good to have. I mean, I'm a Drake May dude because I'm a believer in.
Yeah.
I'm a Caleb dude one, but I'm a Drake May dude second. Mm-hmm. Only reason I feel like I know why people like Jaden Daniels. I get it. Like I'm not knocking it. I'm a believer in if you've been that dude your whole because just like Caleb, Drake has been that dude from the rip. What I mean by that is from 7-on-7, from like being recruited. Like he could have went to Alabama. He chose North Carolina because of his family. It wasn't anything to do. Like he was going to go to Alabama.
Yeah,
he's one of the top rated quarterbacks coming out of high school. Same for Caleb. And they got pretty much the reason why Sam Howell out of there is because Caleb, because Derek May. They wanted Drake May because they wanted Drake May in there ASAP.
Oh yeah.
So Drake has been good with limited talent compared to them other quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? His last year, he really had nobody. Like, and he still put up numbers. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not like LSU. When you're LSU, you gotta have a day one draft. Well, like you have a draft pick in the first, second round in that wide receiver for LSU. Even in terms of USC, they got talented wide receivers, but I mean, Caleb has always been the dude. Caleb was the dude in Oklahoma. He started as a true freshman. He's put up numbers in USC. Last year was an off year, but still put up numbers. If it was an off year, that was a hell of an off season, off year. It's similar to like I think people forget like Peyton Manning's last year wasn't great. His best year at his college.
Oh Lord, his arm was gone.
But his last year in college wasn't his best year.
Oh yeah, his
last year in college, like the year that Charles Woodson got the Heisman, Peyton was thorough the years before because Peyton had that Heisman talk like that. The Heisman was supposed to be Peyton's year. His last year was supposed to be his Heisman. But his year wasn't his best year. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the Peyton of last year, right? That's how Charles Woodson got the Heisman, for real. To be real, we keep the buck. So it's like that happened. So I'm just comparing to Caleb. Caleb's last year wasn't his best year. Okay, it wasn't his best year, but it still was an awesome year for most. If freaking Jaden Daniels had that year, we could talk about Jaden Daniels as one of them. So it doesn't really matter. Like to me, Caleb has always been like that guy. That's why if he slipped, I would love, man. I would run to the podium for Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's what dude was arguing. I now remember he was arguing with me about Caleb Williams and Sam Howell and stuff like that. Like he was talking about, I was saying Caleb is man, this dumbass. I tell you, bro.
You got a little trolls, man. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Now I remember it was about Caleb Williams and the quarterbacks, and I was bringing up. Yeah, man, dumbass folks, man.
You know what's crazy, man, is that it's 2024 and people are still calling Lamar Jackson an athlete. Like he's a quarterback.
He's a quarterback.
Man. He has proven that.
Yeah, he's proven, man. Like I was one of them. When he got drafted. I was like, yeah. Like I like Lamar. I wanted him to stay one more year. I think that's what it was. I think I wanted him to stay.
Yeah, same.
He came out. I wanted him to stay, but Lamar was good, bro. Like Lamar was good. And Lamar's gotten better. Lamar has grown on me as a quarterback. I ain't gonna hold it. He's grown on me thoroughly. So I'm with you. Lamar's proved himself. He got nothing to worry about. He's proved himself. Lamar is MVP.
He's not gonna get a Super Bowl. Let's be real. Yeah. So I don't get it, man. You know, but the thing about this draft, this is a really good draft, man, because that kid out of Washington ain't too shabby. I know the injury history and the age, but
I'm glad he got exposed by my Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, you definitely got exposed, but I mean, they got a lot of depth, man. I mean, you could go a lot of different directions.
I agree. I feel like that's my thing about Washington. Like that's why it's important. I feel like if you're Adam Peters, right? Because I do. All right, this is the thing. We talked about it briefly about Sam Howell. You had the question with Lake about Sam Howell, and I'll say this. I think, all right, if you get Bobby Slowick, I think you can make Sam Howell still be your starting quarterback.
Absolutely.
I can honestly say, I'll go one further. I think if you get Ben Johnson, you can have Sam Howell be your starting quarterback.
I think so too. Absolutely.
All right. So I think either of those two, you still can have be your starting quarterback. I think you can still go and you can go left tackle and be okay. If you can get a quarterback in the second round, I think it'd be fine. I feel like with Sam Howell, you can have it can be if you get a quarterback, it kind of reminds me because again, I think we give them on quarterbacks too soon. I'll give you a prime example. When the Chargers when they drafted LaDainian Tomlinson and Drew Brees the same year. Drew Brees started that year.
Yeah.
Drew Brees ended the season. They had a bad record. You know what I'm saying? They had a bad record. And Drew wasn't, he wasn't nothing to shout about, but you saw something, but it was something, he wasn't something to be, Drew Brees is, Drew Brees is still, he'll be a solid quarterback. But they ended up with a low pick. And who did they draft? There was the talks of do you need him? You got Drew Brees. You just drafted Drew Brees in the second round, and he's the guy that you kind of want to make your starting quarterback. He said, screw that.
I mean, Drew Brees, you saw him coming out of Purdue, man.
Yeah, you saw he could throw the ball. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at size, you would say that Sam Howell is comparable to a Drew Brees. And no, I'm talking about in build arm, right?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't make the argument that Sam Howell's arm is bigger than Drew Brees, right?
Yeah.
You can make that argument. So
he's got things to work on, man. My bad. He's got things to work on. Obviously the release has to get faster.
Yeah.
The progressions, the reads have to get faster. But he's not trash.
No.
If you see some of the throws he made in the first half of the year.
Oh my God.
Denver.
It was amazing. Seattle, that throw to De'Ami.
Absolutely.
They're clutch. Those are throws that even the Eagles game in Philly, he was making big time throws.
Yeah.
The touchdown pass to Jahan to take it to overtime. Like
Yeah.
when they decided not to go for 2. Like, I mean, he made big look. I think we all as Commander fans, we have revisionist history. We forget about certain things.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, oh, like he was trashed the whole year. But there were some plays where you have to sit back and say, damn, he made that throw. Like, you know what I'm saying? And as a rookie, that's what happens when your first year as a starter. Like, yo, the defenses catch up. So now you got to adjust. They caught up. He never had a chance. He couldn't adjust. He didn't adjust. But that's what you're young. That's what happens.
Yep.
So like, and like I said, like they're putting in a situation to what San Diego with at the time San Diego Chargers when they dropped Phillip Rivers, they were like, all right, Eli didn't want to come to San Diego. That's what Eli didn't want to come to San Diego. He wanted to go to New York. But you had Phillip, and Phillip was that dude in NC State. He was beating Florida State. And if you don't remember that, them Florida State defenses back then was real. So like the Chargers felt like they couldn't pass up on Phillip Rivers. They felt like he was the next Dan Marino, right? That's who he was compared to, the next Dan Marino. Yeah. So it's just like it's similar. Like to me, it's similar. It's like, all right, you got Sam Howell, who showed you that he could play in the NFL, but you still got question marks. But now you got guys who are generational. Like you feel like. Well, Caleb's generational talent. I think Drake May could be the next Herbert. I really do. I think he'd be the next Herbert.
I totally agree.
I think he'd be the next
comparison too. Absolutely.
I think he'd be the next Herbert. And I don't know if you want to pass on that. That's my thing. I don't know if you want to pass on that. And I think Daniels is I know people like him. I just think he's got all right. So skill set prospect. Well, he's probably like a high end prospect, right? He's like the best if he hits. If he hits, he's like the best, right? I do think he could be or second. Or I think Caleb is just all world. So I'm going to say, like, if he hits, he's the second best quarterback. Because I still think Caleb is all world.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So I think if he hits. But if he misses, he can miss bad. Like, that's what I look at Jaden. Like, Jaden could be really, really bad. I think Jaden's bad is worse. And I know people is worse than Drake May. Yeah. I think Drake May, you're going to see with better talent around him how good he throws that football. And he don't hold it like I mean Sam holds it, but when you're taller, you can see, and Sam holds it because he's shorter too. So Drake May is tall, so he can see over and he can see better. Like he don't have to like navigate through the line to find somebody because the line is too tall or too big for what Sam Howell needs to do. So I do think that with Drake May, it'll be a little easier because of his physical ability with his height, build, stature. So I think he'll be fine. But he would, I think, again, it's all about where these dudes get drafted and for Washington, not where they get drafted, but if Washington selects them, who is the coach? They got to pick the right coach for that player's skill set. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got a comparison for you, and I know it's not going to be the most popular name because he used to be a Commander, but early in his career, Carson Wentz, man, people forget before that injury.
Yeah,
Carson, man, taller quarterback, strong.
He was a dog,
man. He reminds me a lot of him, man. Yeah. A lot of him.
Drake, you talking about Drake, man?
Absolutely. Early on.
He's gone. Carson was a dog. Like, no. Carson, before that injury, was an MVP candidate. He was going to, I mean, what's that? Took a Super Bowl. What's the name? Took a Super
Foles.
Yeah, Nick, he stole the Super Bowl. He stole that for that year. He stole the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
That dude was that Carson was amazing. He stole Carson's Super Bowl that year. Like that year, he stole Carson's Super Bowl. So no, I agree with that. No, I agree with that. But again, it's like you just got to be the right. It's got to be the right system. Like Jaden Daniels would be pretty good. Like Jaden Daniels would be pretty good with Bobby Slow. I am not gonna say that. I'll say this much. I haven't seen Ben Johnson with the Jaden Daniels type quarterback. So that's I don't
true.
know.
That's true.
That I don't know. So I haven't seen him, but I have seen in terms of a Shanahan system, I have seen a mobile quarterback within that system. So you can make the argument like, all right, Jaden Daniels could be good because of RG3, right? You can make that argument because I've seen that type of quarterback in the Shanahan system. You know what I'm saying? So there are things in that system where you can say, all right, he could probably be good in this system. But also I've seen what a pocket quarterback can do in that system. And because C.J. Stroud's a pocket quarterback, and a pocket quarterback is good in that system. You know what I'm saying? So only time will tell. But hopefully, again, Washington chooses right. But your quarterback, if they select, all right, you would say Jaden Daniels it doesn't depend. It doesn't matter on who the coach is for you.
I mean, I like Jaden Daniels, man, but I'm with you. I lean towards May if
So you
he's
do lean to
available.
May. Okay.
Yeah, I lean towards May. Like,
Okay.
I like Jaden Daniels. Like I said, I watched him at Arizona State before he
Yeah.
transferred to LSU.
Yeah.
So he's always but he's got to add a little weight because with his
He's
frame,
small.
man.
He is small.
Look, in the NFL, man,
that matters for a quarterback. That does matter.
Your linebackers and defensive ends are running 40 times.
Same as you.
They're hitting you hard, man.
Yeah.
So that kind of concerned me because that's what concerned me about Emmanuel Forbes. Like, like I said, I ain't trying to go back into history, man. But
no, it works. It's
I
right,
was a Christian Gonzalez guy, honestly.
Everybody, I mean, yeah,
but,
it's wild because I was a Christian Gonzalez. So no, I know I was a Porter guy. That's
absolutely.
I was a Porter guy. I wanted Porter over everybody. I'm on that. I did. But go ahead.
I mean, it's just his frame. I mean, you got the rigors of the NFL, man. It's different than college.
Yeah,
because college, you're playing your conference guys, but then your first 3 games you're playing scrubs, man. So you have an opportunity to kind of work your body weight, up to that competition, man. You're playing, no disrespect, but like, Old Dominion University, which is not, I'm an Old Dominion guy. But, I mean, let's be real, like, no disrespect. I just had to use somebody, man.
Yeah,
but,
I got you.
But I mean, it is what it is. We're in the NFL. Week 1, you win it. You got 17 games, man. I mean, so just the rigors of it. Emmanuel Forbes is way too small, man. I mean, if you see him, he's barely bringing guys down, man. I mean, if you look at him against A.J. Brown, it's like he should have went against Devontae Smith. I know this is a whole nother conversation.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I said this, though. See, this is the thing. Again, whoever you bring in, all right, so this is my thing. I think Emmanuel Forbes will be a Pro Bowl corner down the road. I definitely
absolutely
think.
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
He will. I think that the coaching staff, they do this all the time, though. Like, I don't even know why. They do this all the time. They don't use the players to what they do the best. Like, he is a ball hawk corner.
Yeah.
I mean, he drops some, but that's what he is.
Yep.
Use him the best of his ability. Also, he's a rookie. He's small. You just said it. Do not put him on A.J. Brown. That is a bad matchup regardless. Yeah. That's like me putting a 5'7" corner on Randy Moss. It makes no sense.
No sense.
One-on-one. I'm talking about one-on-one too.
Oh,
it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like if I put Megatron, on a Megatron, one-on-one, no help. What do you think's gonna happen? Just use your imagination. So you put him one-on-one with AJ Brown, which big size corners can't put down.
Yeah.
I put him on him one-on-one. What do you think's going to happen? He's going to get bullied. That's just what happens. So like that's on the coaching staff, and not if you're going to put him on AJ Brown, then shade coverage on him. Like shade coverage on that side to give him help. Or it's like you just said, put him on Smith. Devontae Smith is a better matchup. Both frames are the same. Both small dudes. Emmanuel Forbes is fast, so he should be able to be around, like right, should be around him. So yeah, I agree. Like I just think the defensive coach, like Blake said, everything should be better. And you said everything should be better than what they dealt with last season. And not just players, it's coaching. Coaching should be better. So that's my thing. If you're an offensive dude coming to be the head coach, like it is paramount that you bring in a DC that is going to improve this defense, because this defense, yes, you're going to have to get some, like you said, get a middle linebacker, but this defense to me has still core guys for you to still be a good, like at first, we had Chase, Montez, Allen, Payne, whatever. That defense to me should have been like a top 5 defense. I'm a curse. I don't give a fuck, whatever. Defense.
Absolutely.
But now, all right, it may not be a top 5 defense. It could be, but it may not unless you get signed, make the right signs and whatever, and draft right. It could still be a top 5 defense, because I still think the interior is still going to be should be mean. I think Payne, a lot of the talk about Payne getting his money ain't play right. Folks, people hear this. If you're a competitor, you hear this. Jonathan Allen, he'll a healthy year, he'll be better. You get a linebacker, you get defensive ends, you get a corner, you get another corner because you're gonna lose Kendall Fuller, so that's that money off the books. So I'm with you. I do think like the defense could be Emmanuel Forbes another year. Maybe eats. He eats a lot. Hopefully he eats a lot, like a lot. I'm
Right.
not sure. I give some carbs, man. We get some rice, like piles of rice, man. Put on weight. But like all I'm saying, like so you do that, but they got to get that defensive minded coach, like head coach. I mean, not head coach. If you're offensive minded head coach, get a defensive coordinator.
Yep.
Who going to do it? Like you gotta give them who going to do it. And I feel like not a guy you wishing on a star. I feel like if you're gonna be this is my thing. If you're a young OC, I mean, a young offensive minded head coach, I'm almost inclined for you to get an experienced, awesome defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
I'm almost in line to say that. Like a Wink Martindale, like be somebody I think they should probably try to target. Because Wink was, I thought Wink did wonders with the Giants with that bad with some of the players he had missing, and he.
Hey man, who knows? 1 year deal, Brian Flores.
Oh, I would love Brian Flores, man. I would love Brian Flores as my head coach. I ain't gonna hold you. I love Brian Flores. He can be my head coach. But these soft players wouldn't like him because they always complain about being coach hard. So I don't even like I have a problem with these players. Like I complain about EB.
But that's a whole generation thing, and that's a whole other conversation.
These dudes soft. They don't like champ. They don't look. I'm like, yes, true. This is a generational thing. That's true. But I'm like, man, Kansas City dealt with him, and they won Super Bowls. Y'all need to stop this crap. Like y'all ain't win. Y'all just win. Y'all win top 15 picks, if that. And I'm being nice by saying top 15. Really, y'all win top 10 picks. We like stop it. You're not winning trophies.
The issue with that, with EB and the players complaining, and here's the issue. Why are they going to the head coach about that? Yeah, it's coaching because
I agree.
Look, children are the example of the parent, right?
True.
And the players are the emulation of the coaching.
Yeah, I agree.
Why would you feel comfortable enough to go past the coordinator, not have that conversation with him first, and go to Ron? See, there's a difference between being a player's coach,
I agree, bro,
and letting the players run the locker room. And they ran the locker room, man. Because if it was me, Chase, no, you need to come with the team, or you ain't gonna be on the team. Like, you need to be hard nosed, man. And I like Chase, man, but he never put his stamp on his locker room, and that's why this went the way it was. That and him being a GM. I mean, you drafting Jamin Davis, knowing he was a second round talent. Because here's the thing, man, it's first round pick. That guy he needs to come in and contribute right away.
Facts. I agree.
You should not develop a first round pick.
I agree.
Jamin Davis, I think he can eventually be something.
Yeah.
But you had to develop the guy. I mean, Emmanuel Forbes. Yeah, I think that Forbes down the line, put him on the other side. Definitely go get a lockdown. Get a guy where you can say, go guard the best receiver on the team. And let Forbes take the pressure off. And I think he would do well.
Yeah.
But it's all about you. We got to win through the draft, man. Ron Rivera and his GM skills was trash. And the fact that he just let the players do whatever they want. And you can say the same about Wes Unseld Jr. You cannot be a player's coach to the point where you let them run the locker room. The locker room is your domain. You control that. You are the king of the locker room. And looking at the defensive side of the ball, you are 100% on cue, man. Get a guy who's a dog as a coach, who's going to rile these guys up, come through the tunnel ready to knock somebody out. I mean, because that was a mentality when we were coming up. When we were playing high school ball, you were trying to knock somebody out. That was the mentality. And we're trying to go out there and be pretty and try to get interception and dance. I'm trying to knock somebody out.
That's why I want Greg Williams back, man. I want bounties, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I want bounties, man. I want bounties, man. Look, man, you can't put me in cancel culture. You can cancel me. I want bounties, man. That's what I want. I want bounties, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Everybody like you want Greg? Yeah, he put bounties on folks. That's what I want. I want bounties. I want people to play for something. Like I want somebody, like you said, knock people out. Like I want to be out. I'm sick of being doormats on defense. I'm serious.
Yeah,
like, this is the thing.
absolutely.
I had Bashar Breeland, and this is I knew the season was in jeopardy because we had Breeland the first game of the season when they played Arizona. Like in the post game, they beat Arizona. And Breeland was like, I was like, yeah. I was telling Ray, I was like, I don't like this defense. It's like, it's too soft. Arizona trash. They playing with Dobbs. Dobbs is able to move the football. Yeah, they ain't score that much. They were moving the football. Yeah. Like they shouldn't have done nothing. This dude barely played with these dudes, and he's doing all right. And then Breeland was like, yeah, I like y'all defense. It was, but he said, but bro, they was like moving the ball. He was like, yeah, it's a bend but don't break defense. Like, bro, I don't like that term. I told him quickly, like, I don't like that term. Yeah. Like, bend but don't break defense with this talent. He's like, yeah, I mean, that's the way they coach, and you could tell it's a bend but don't break. I was like, with this though, Bree, like you got 4 defensive, like first round quality dudes, and it's a bend but don't break. He was like, yeah, I mean, Man, that's the way he coached. I was like, man, bro, this team was gonna be
Nah,
trash.
man. I mean,
That's why I
if
knew
you
it was
look at
gonna be trash. Yeah.
Seattle and Baltimore's defenses
Yeah.
came from the coach down. It was
Yeah.
a mentality,
It's
man.
mentality. Yes.
You going to war. You need to be
Yes.
ready to roll. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like none of this, you know, and it's definitely a mentality thing. And so I think that the light is definitely at the end of the tunnel for Commanders, but you have to get guys in the coaching room who have that mentality, man. Because if you have a passive mentality, the defense is not going to evolve. You have to go out there and defend at a high level. Because again, you had 4 first-rounders on your defensive line. I mean, there's no reason why we should not have been a top 5 defense.
That's
opinion.
what I'm saying.
Too much talent, man.
Too much talent. And then you had Cam Curl. It's just so much. So just like but they coach that way and they don't tackle. I feel like that's a problem for me too. Like I'm a big believer. You could tell how a defense is going to be if you watch them hard in preseason. You just gotta watch them.
Yeah.
Because if they're flying to football and they tackling strong, but tackling strong and flying to football translates in the regular season. You can't tell like of shutting teams down. You can't tell in preseason, but that's different of like flying to football and like tackling strong, like playing with aggression. That translate. Because I remember when I watched, Greg in preseason for the first year 1. I mean, year 1 we weren't a good team, but our defense was like the top 3. But our preseason he was flying. People were just smacking people. I was like, damn, this because the year before we had like one of the worst defenses before Greg got here. And like I watched it, I was like, oh wow, like they fly. Like man, he blitzing preseason. Who do this? Who blitzing preseason? I'm watching them. I was like, oh, okay. Then I watched like the first game of the season. That's when Clinton Portis had that long run against Tampa. I believe it was Tampa. And against Tampa. And like, but the defense was just like smacking folks. They were just smacking folks the whole year. And I was like, good God, like this is a defense. I haven't seen since then. Yeah. I haven't seen a defense smack anybody like that. Even with Del Rio year 1, when they were top 5 that year. Yeah, during COVID, they were top 5 with Chase's. Yeah, like it's top 5. But they weren't like they were good statistically, but they weren't like smacking people. Like they weren't like
you're right. Yeah,
right out really just stopping people. You know what I'm saying? Like they were good, but they weren't like thorough. Like for the top 3 defense, you'd be like, I'm scared of that defense. Like I'm really scared of that defense.
Oh man, people were terrified to go against Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
terrified.
Exactly.
Ed Reed, people did not. You were not going across the middle on that defense.
Yeah, exactly. So it's different. Like I just felt like we haven't even with, and that's why I feel like this. That's one of the people want to talk about certain things about this Rivera regime. I just feel like it's the travesty of what this defense should have been. Yeah, and it didn't really forget the offense, right? Because you didn't whatever your quarter. That's how you because you never really took care of the offense for real. Because you never really handled the quarterback situation correctly. But the defense is something that, in terms of personnel, like you handled it correctly in terms of who you brought in my opinion. Other than like you're right, Jamin Davis and whatever. Like you should have, had it brought in. You should have took care of the linebacker situation. That's the only thing I felt like he really neglected. He truly neglected linebacker. Like I don't even get why.
Yeah,
like a linebacker.
And I agree on Kyle Hamilton, man. That was my guy in the
draft. I wanted Kyle Hamilton like bad. I wanted, but everybody tried to like. They try to shit on me for wanting Cal Hamilton. They were like, "Oh, he's 40 times as slow."
I was that like, guy.
Did y'all watch him in Notre Dame? I don't care. Look, that's the thing about. And before we close the show out, that's the one thing I like in the draft. I hate the draft process. I don't like people overanalyze certain things about the draft. Like,
oh yeah.
So absolutely. for me, I want to see how consistent you've been in Saturdays throughout your body of work. I don't like 1-year dudes who just put it on tape. For 1 year now, everybody like, oh, they got skills and they got the physical attributes. They should be like a top pick. I'm all about what you do year 1, year 2, year 3, and then just like a job interview. Like if I see your experience and your body work through your experience, and then on the combine, if it matches what I saw on Saturdays, then I'm like, shoot, you him. Like automatically, I'm thinking you're a first rounder. Now, if your combine is some trash, like ain't great, but what you did on film was real good. Yeah, I may dock you a little bit, but I'm not going to dock you heavily. Like, because I know how, if you were really, really that good, like for example, all right, if Marvin Harrison Jr. ran like a 4.5, I'm not penalizing him that thoroughly.
No, not at all.
Because I've seen Marvin enough to know that Marvin can get busy on anybody.
Oh, absolutely. You know route running,
everything, footwork. So I don't need to Yeah, you want him to run a 4-4, 4-3. Yeah, you want to run a 4-4 for real. You want to run a 4-4. But if he run like a 4-5, 4-6, I ain't gonna be like, damn, like I can't get Marvin.
Yeah.
Nah, I know Marvin did. Marvin's body of work since he's started Ohio State, played like got time was like that.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So like that's my thing. So for me, but I think people overanalyze it. Like Caleb had a so-so year in his last year, so-so, but still like one of the better years in college football for a quarterback. But people are trying to use that year to hate on Caleb. Body of work, though. You get what I'm saying? Like you were the top recruit, you went to Oklahoma, started as a true freshman, put up numbers as a true freshman, transfer OUSC, was out there doing big work. They called you the next Patrick Mahomes. Final year, you didn't have a great year. Now people throw out, well, he didn't play good against top 10 teams and this, that, and the other. Yeah, the whole team didn't play good against top 10
exactly.
teams. Relax. So like when y'all do that, y'all gotta chill and like relax. All right, again, the body of work is showing you that he's been this guy throughout. All right, same I said for Drake May. He's in North Carolina. Some people like he don't play with the same dudes that you play with. Like his body of work going against teams with a lot of talent shows you that he is one of them. Again, also the pedigree, highly touted, one of the top quarterbacks coming into college, and he produced body of work. I'm cool with that. Now, if his combine matches, if those two dudes combine matches what we seen on Saturdays, that would be like they're probably the first two quarterbacks that should be selected. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, and they did it in a short time frame. They're not getting an extra year. They're not playing. They've done theirs in the adequate college years, like 3 years. They're not doing 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, get awarded one. They're doing it in the right time frame, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and the other quarterbacks, and some of these quarterbacks we talk about, they get an extra year. They're getting this, the COVID year. They're doing this, that, and the other, a redshirt year from injury. So it's just different. Like it's different. That's why I'm like, we can't overthink or overanalyze it. Like you see this dude play on Saturdays. Was he that dude? Yeah, he was that dude. Was he highly recruited? He was highly recruited. So has he panned out? He's panned out. All right, he's got to be one of them.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it.
I agree 100, man. I agree 100.
So, but wait, this has been dope, man. Hey, Brandon, thanks for being on, man. Before I let you go, before we end the show, how can folks catch you on social media?
Oh, I am on X, Twitter, Brandon_7 Scott. So I definitely doing Wizards content over at Locked On Wizards on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Definitely watching Football Maniacs. Contribute on Bleacher Report, and I got media credentials with the Washington Wizards, so I'm definitely up there. Definitely rolling up there asking questions, man. Trying to get some content, man. So
I should be. I'm thinking about going Wednesday. I'm not sure. Wednesday and Friday. I don't be there Friday.
I'll be there for
Friday.
the Cavs game next month.
Next month? That's a Friday game. Is that the Friday game?
Yeah. I think now the Friday game is Miami. I'm thinking of going to that one too.
Yeah, the Friday's Miami. What's the Wednesday game? That's a Wednesday game. I know it's
Wednesday. Game. I think it's the Cavs. Yeah. Or
Wednesday's the Cavs game.
I'm trying to think, man. I have to double check.
Yeah, I know there's 2 games. I know there's the Miami game. Is the Miami game? I don't know which day. I know the Miami game. I think Miami game is the Friday game. I think you're right, actually.
Yeah, the Heat game Friday. Because I wanted to go to last year to the Heat game, man. I was supposed to go to. I went to the Spurs game. I was supposed to go to the T-Wolves game, man. But I didn't mess my back up, man. I had to watch it from the house. I'm just now getting back to 100%, man. So.
Oh man, I'm glad you're doing well, man. I ain't gonna lie. The game I wanted to go to, but I was in Nigeria because I planned it. But I'm gonna try in the East. So I'm gonna catch him again. It's funny. I did want to go to the Detroit game. I don't know. Like I want to see. I wanted because of Monty. I wanted to ask Monty local. I wanted to go ahead and try to rap with Monty about certain things. I wasn't gonna talk about Wiseman. I wasn't gonna put him on blast on Wiseman. But I didn't want to do that. We also talk about being a local product. That's the game I really wanted to kind of go to. It was the Detroit game. But the Miami game I'm gonna try to go to. But I don't have an edge for Miami. I don't have an angle for Miami, but I'll be there. Yeah, I won't care about the Heat. I won't really care about. I mean, I'm pretty. Well, there are games that I'm like, already book it. I book it. Like all right. I'm just gonna talk about. I'm just worried about the Wizards. Miami will be just the Wizards. I won't lie to you. It'll be just the Wizards. If I do, I ain't gonna lie. If I do go to Miami, I ain't gonna lie. If I do the Miami game, if Bam Adebayo is on if he is on the panel, because they select whoever they bring to the media room for the visitors. I will ask him, like, did he think about playing for the Nigerian Olympic team? Because he's playing for USA. I want to kind of
That's
ask
a
that
good question.
That's
Man.
the
You let me
question I
know,
want to ask
man.
him.
You let me know. We'll link up, man.
We'll link up.
Right.
We'll link up.
Gotcha.
That's the question I do want to ask him. He is one dude I want to ask him.
Oh,
I want to ask
absolutely.
that question too. I want to ask him because he's playing for Team. Well, he's trying to play for Team USA. I would ask him, like, did you think about when you made your decision? Did you think about playing for the Nigerian Olympic team? So I want to ask him that. Like, I want to ask him
That's
that.
a good question, man.
Yeah, because that does piss me off. I ain't gonna lie to you. That does piss me off. But hey, also tell folks about make sure you put all your information, like stuff about the pod, your show being on YouTube and everything. I don't think you said
Oh, yes, sir. Locked On Wizards and Washington Football Maniacs are both on YouTube. My co-host on Locked On Wizards, my man.
Yeah.
The Real Oliver, definitely check him out on Twitter, man. It's my dude.
Yeah.
Washington Football Maniac, Drake Sykes is my co-host, man. So definitely rock with him on social media, man. We have a lot of fun, man.
Awesome.
So yeah. Appreciate your time, man.
I like to hear. Also, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeart, and iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Team. Also, follow us on X at Urban Sports Team, IG at Urban Sports Team, and like our Urban Sports Team Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate Brandon for joining as a special co-host. He was dope. Brandon, we're going to have you on again. We'll talk about, maybe have you on for double duty. I may have you on for Wizards and Commanders.
Hey, man, you already know. Let me know, man.
All right, you already know. Anyway, appreciate Brandon for being on. Appreciate Lake too as well. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega, lead us out, big homie.
Peace.